assembly of the Waydoo Evo Pro Plus board. 4 different pieces that I'm dealing with here. So we've got the wing, the 1500 Voyager, the battery, which is the heavier of the batteries, which will give you about a 90-minute to 2-hour ride time, depending on how fast you go and where you ride and how much you fall off as well. This is the board itself, and then this piece is the mast and the motor. Now the mast and the motor, when it's delivered brand new, come in 2 pieces, but for transport I always keep them together, which is why I'm assembling it as I always do just before I go riding. So step 1 is putting the battery in. Now I always make sure that the board is flat. If the board is tilted up with the mast already on it, you can take the battery out that way, but I found it impossible to put the battery in that way. So it has to be flat like this, and this is step 1. So I'm just going to make sure that this piece is kind of tilted out of the way, which is going to make it easier for me to put it in. So I'm just going to grab it by the handle, lift it up, and then just drop it in. Easy. So then I'm going to push it down a little bit, and I'm going to make sure not to press on this screen here. The screen can crack. It won't let water into the board if you do that, because there is another screen under that. It's just kind of a protective screen. But you need to press on the battery a little bit just to get it in and nice and tight. And you want to make sure that you're pressing here on the actual foam and not on this screen piece here. So we're just gonna, I use my knee just to push it down, push the screw down and tighten it. Then I'm going to make sure, double check that it's nice and tight, push this piece in. Now this piece here, it didn't come with the board, although there is a standard kind of little key that comes with the board, and it will fit inside the controller. But I bought this from a hardware store because I just find it easier to do the work with less force, less effort, particularly if you're a woman with longer nails, which I used to have. It still allows you to assemble and disassemble much easier with this tool, so I just keep this in my baggie. So the wheels are already on. These are not sold as standard with the board, but I purchase them and use them really every time I ride. It's just much easier to take the board to the water where you're going to ride. I did wonder when I bought the wheels, can you actually ride the board with the wheels on? And I tried it out, and yes, you can. I wouldn't recommend like hard carving or anything like that, but if you just need to get from A to B and not have to deal with taking the wheels off, you can actually ride it with them on. So the wheels are already on, but these are just easy screws on and off each side, and I generally leave those on and I'll wash them every 2 or 3 rides. Next step is going to be to put the mast on, and to do this I'm just going to flip the board over, which is much easier to do if the wheels are already on it. So I'm just going to lift it up. It has this handy handle, and then I'm going to hold the side handle like this, push it up, and I just use one foot to block the wheels so that then I can flip it over like so. So now I'm going to attach the mast and the motor. Like I said, when it's delivered from factory, these are 2 screws that you'll have to put on to attach. Just make sure you're threading each screw in turn and not trying to totally thread one screw and then the other, because it gets a bit dicey and it could cross thread. But I don't generally take this off very often. I do every few rides because I ride in salt water, and this isn't actually waterproof, so I just wash it out with fresh water. But you can see this is pretty light to pick up. I'm not especially strong, and this is fine. So I'm just going to put it on like that, and then it comes with a couple of screws. The newer version, the screws, you don't actually need an electric screwdriver. They come with like little wings on them, so you can just screw them in by hand. And just make sure it's nice and stable, and then you just begin screwing it in and just lift it up over that final screw as you tighten it. And then same with this side. Okay, and that's on. So next step is putting my wing on. Okay, next step is to attach the wing. I have the 1500 Voyager wing. I like that because it's good and nice and stable. If I'm ocean riding, I'll probably choose the smaller, sportier wing, but this is a great wing for beginners and intermediate riders as well, and allows you to carve, just not like steep, really steep carves. So it goes on like this. I always carry my electric screwdriver in my baggie in the car all the time, and this comes in really handy. It does come with a tool, you know, like what you use to attach IKEA furniture, if you've ever done that. But I just prefer this, it's just quicker and easier. I start with the outside screw and just get that in there with my hand. This just keeps the wing stable while I prime the other screws. And then I'm just going to carefully screw that in. I won't go all the way to the bottom because I like to finish it off by hand, so I'm not damaging the wing or the screws, but very easy. Just make sure this is charged. Just make sure those are nice and tight. And that's it, your board is actually ready to go. All right, so to show you how I would take this to the water, I'm going to pick it up very simply. It's got this handy notch here underneath as a handle, and it's just going to allow you to pull it and take it to the water. And you'll literally, if you have a boat ramp, just take that to the water's edge, float it in the water, and when you get deep enough, just turn it over, and you can remove the wheels as well. You can park your board using the mast and the wing. Just park it the other way around so it's not going to go anywhere, or on its side while you take the wheels back to the car or wherever you're keeping the wheels. But again, you can actually ride it with the wheels on, although it's not going to give you the best sort of wheel quality. And then when you're done, just to drain it out, I like to tip it up on its back wing, and you can take the battery out from its standing up position, although it's impossible to put it in this way. Hope you find this useful, and if you like this content, please follow and subscribe. Thanks guys.
Three, there's more behind them. Oh, they're right over top of us. There's one just went under you. Perfect. Boy, that thing went right under us. We missed him. That was lucky. That was awesome.